What's going on? What happened?
This is very early for me.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. I don't start my day till after 3 p.m. It's fine.
No way!
Pasa toda la vida construyendo un negocio. Para que un pendejo te lo quite.
For those who may not know what Gentefied is, it's a Netflix series that is based in East LA. A family trying to figure out identity, trying to figure out changes in the neighborhood, hence, gentrification, Gentefied.
No character on this show is one-dimensional. I think that's the beauty of what Marvin and Linda, the world that they created, and why there is so many equal opposites around. How, and that's just the plight of our existence as the Latinidad. You know what I mean? You're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans. You're not gringo enough, you're not white enough for the whites. Like, where do we fit in? So we're always trying to juggle everything that we are been placed in our lap because we feel like we need to be better than the best.
Yeah. How does it feel to have something out there in the world that both relates to Latino culture, Latino community, but also has a lot of truth? And sometimes truth comes with things that are hard to talk about.
It's rewarding. It's beautiful. I think it's felt really amazing to hear from so many people who love it.
We could tell that people just related on a different level because people were coming up to us and telling us about their life stories. And it felt like we were like politicians all of a sudden. It's like I've had people say, hey, good show, but I've never had somebody go, when I was 7 years old, my family told me that I wasn't Mexican enough.
And Julissa, this question is for you because it's something that I've reported on in the past that I've talked about, but this Afro-Latinidad, we don't get to explore it enough. We don't talk about it enough. And Jessica in the series has all of that. So, I mean, how was it being able to show que eres dominicana, que eres mujer, que eres Latina? How did that feel for you?
Oh, it was an honor. I mean, for it to be like my breakout role, I couldn't ask for a better role. You know what I mean? Like, you think of like, oh, what will be my breakout? You have this like maybe this dream, and I think this surpassed it because of just that, because we don't see enough representation on it. And alongside, I always say it, like we always talk about Mexicans and we talk about Puerto Ricans. That's really what we see displayed usually. But to have these worlds immersed together, like a Dominican on a Mexican show, and be able to like bring us together, I think that is what is the beauty of it all.
Amazing. Carrie, a question for you. As Ana Morales, I don't want to give too much of the series away, but you're kind of like the glue of the family, right? The one that's always reasoning with everyone, trying to make everyone kind of understand what's going on with each other.
Just from the very start, just on the cousin aspect, with the guys, I did a chem read with them, and it was so seamless and so easy to become one family, like right in that room. And then you have Marvin and Linda, who are always rooting for you and telling you that you're enough with exactly who you are and what you're bringing to the table for each one of our characters. Having had this experience opened my eyes to others' experiences. And so I was able to be a representation and a voice for that. That's not always seen on television or film, because I feel like you don't want to see the ugly in everything all the time. And there was such a truth to this.
Yeah, when you guys were writing, the scripts and the episodes, did you ever think you were going to create a family? Because that's what I see here.
I don't definitely think that we expected to have this level of family that we have with the cast. Like, it's been the most beautiful part of being able to make this. It's been the best year ever. I think that this cast has made this so special, especially with, making TV is like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But this cast has made it so much, like, full of so much fun and full of so much magic.
Carrie, JJ, Julissa, Annie, Carlos, Joaquin, all of them at some point in the process of casting showed us their truest self, and it was like this heart on their sleeve.
Cuando estaba haciendo el rol de Paps, de Casimiro, se le hizo un poco difícil actuar y contar su historia, sabiendo que hay cosas en la vida real que no están sucediendo así.
Bueno, no, en realidad, no sé si la palabra sea difícil. En realidad, eso fue lo que la hizo muy atractivo el personaje de Casimiro.
una realidad compleja, una vida real. Me parece que eso es lo que tiene Gentefied, que es una narración, una historia muy sencilla, pero que alcanza a ser extraordinaria. Una historia llena de afecto, de cariño, de coraje, de valentía, y que narra hechos reales. Por eso tal vez la gente que lo ha visto le gusta, porque no es una historia fantástica, es una historia común y corriente y por lo tanto muy, muy real, muy verosímil y muy entrañable.
This whole interview, we've been going back and forth from English to Spanish. Y yo creo que eso es algo que nos pasa a todos los latinos.
Sí, yo creo que eso es parte de lo que es la cultura hispana o la cultura chicana o la cultura latina en Estados Unidos. Es el lenguaje. Más allá, la cultura es el lenguaje, lo que hablamos. Y por lo tanto, alguien que habla dos lenguas tiene dos culturas en sí. Esa es la riqueza y el gran poder. Y por eso Gentefied es una gran serie.
No, Carlos, a question for you. As Chris's character, did you kind of read up to play Chris? Did you kind of know that already? How did you prepare for your role?
For me, there was a way into Chris that's just basically been what happened to me. It's kind of happened the other way around because I'm from Puerto Rico, so I left Puerto Rico and I left my family to come pursue acting. And so I've been away from my family. That's been my existence for a very long time. And so inevitably what happens when I go to college out in California, when I move to Los Angeles, we're always searching for that substitute, for that family substitute within friends, within colleagues. And, and it usually doesn't work out how you want.
What's the first frame we see of any character is Eric. You see him rolling up on a Schwinn and, loped out, hat, looking like a gangster, looking like a cholo, if you will. And just because someone may look that way doesn't mean they're not educated. Give a little more credit, maybe, or maybe wait before you start judging people. Take a second. How about try to understand? Try to understand where people are coming from before you just start putting a sticker on them. Is they're this.
So the way Lydia moves through, just the way Anna moves through life, just the way Jessica moves through life, just the way Chris and Eric and Pop, I feel like all these characters are balancing the home life and the commitment that they have to their family. It's that hard balance of choosing yourself so that you can teach your family to choose themselves. And I think that's where Lydia is fighting within herself.
Do you ever really let go of your character? Or is that something that as actors, you just have to learn, okay, el que sigue, the next one?
I think especially with a show like this, that's so close to all of our hearts and the fact that we are so close to each other, I don't think I will never lose Lydia, and I pray to God that I don't, because she is way cooler than I am and I could ever be.
I was wearing a crop top yesterday, and my siblings are like, "Oh, you got a little Anna in you now?" I was like, "I think so." I'm standing poor guys, but I wouldn't want to lose who she is because she grew the person that I am now.
If we ever get a chance to play the characters again, for me, it's just be like, hey, welcome back. It's gonna come right out. I feel like there's no losing that.
EP, director, America Ferrera. I mean, that's amazing.
We call her the madrina, la prima that, would cut a bitch if you need her to. Like, she's just so down and she's, she is, like you said, you call her a role model, and I think that's very much what she is in so many ways, of being able to have somebody in the room that we can lean on.
We were all in a room, we needed to talk about something, and she was like, I think I might be having the baby. We're like, what are you doing on this call? Like we just got to see like kind of this growth around the growth of this series over the past 4 years. And
if there's anything that a viewer would take away from Gentefied, what would you guys wish it would be?
That we are enough as we are. We don't need to. We don't need to. That we were just talking about how we're not enough or enough. I think the ultimate idea is that even just for the people watching, if they feel represented, it's a very powerful message of saying, hey, your existence as it is, whether it's half of this or half of that or 1/3 of this, is good enough to, and you never have to apologize for it.
Guys, well, thank you so much. It was beautiful chatting with you all. I am so excited for what's to come with Gentefied in the future. Please keep being who you are, keep being an inspiration to many Latinos. A lot of people are commenting saying like, oh my gosh, I relate so much to this character. And really, that's because of you guys. That's because of the writers. And honestly, it's been a pleasure.